Good intentions, good intentions, good intentions. The power of word. The power of word. And the power word today is going to be communion. Communion. That's COMMUNION. Communion. What is communion? Communion is also known as Eucharist or Lord's Supper. Is a Christian sacrament or ordinance where believers share bread and wine and grapes to remember Jesus' sacrifice. What is Eucharist? It is EUCHRIST. It is, what is it? It is a Christian service sacrament, the Last Supper, in which bread and wine are consumed and concentrated. Too much. So, the reason I'm making this video, power of word, let's get into it. There is a lot of things that's in the Bible that is misunderstood and interpreted very wrong. And us being believers, us being wise, us being knowing, us being creators of the Almighty, right? And also possessing a spirit that gives us understanding and give us truth. We are supposed to be walking in a calling and walking in a life fulfillment that allow us to be the best versions of self. And some things are to be left in the past, and some things are to be actually found from within. Your salvation, Jesus said, why marvel at the things that I do, for you shall do things greater than me. And they also said that you should not go without yourself, outside of yourself, but stay with the inside of yourself. Yet it is good for us to fellowship together, because iron sharpeneth iron, because that is good for the coming together. But before you can come together with someone to give information of a story, you have to have completeness of self. So what is a communion? The English definition of communion is the sharing or an exchanging of intimate thoughts and feelings, especially when the exchange is on a mental or spiritual level. I like that version of communion, because that version of communion gives us the separation. There is the second definition. It says the service of Christian worship at which bread and wine are concentrated and shared. I don't like that definition at all, because the communion word is the actual mental and the spirituality of oneself. I want to break this down, and I'm going to be really, really quick. I thought this was going to be a long video, but nope, not going to be long, because I'm just here to explain that the communion that the church is doing, because we are the church, the communion that being done inside of the building, or inside of them walls, it's not of God. First of all, Jesus never took a communion. Never took a communion. Never took a communion. He ate and he drank with his disciples, but he didn't take a communion. And when he said, do this in remembrance of me, he was telling them to be everything that I left with you and be everything that I called you to be. 9:13, and I'm about to get out of your hair. I'm going to read, then I'm going to go back to the top of Luke. So we're going to go to Luke 9:13. He said, so just a small little what's going on. The disciples were walking, and they were walking, and they took in, the masses were following them. And the masses were a lot of people, right? And they followed Jesus and the disciples into a desert place where there was no food, where there was no water, where there was nothing. So the disciples turned to Jesus, their teacher, and said, send them away so they can go and get themselves together, because we can't do nothing else for them. But Jesus turned unto them and said, Luke 9:13, but he said unto them, give ye them to eat. And they said, we have no more but 5 loaves and 2 fishes, except they should go and buy meat, except we should go and buy meat for all of these people. When your salvation said, give them ye to eat, let's break down what he was talking about. He said, give them ye to eat, meaning give them you. He didn't even want to feed the people. Yahshua did not want to feed the people at all. Your salvation did not want to feed the people. He was telling you to do it. Why? Because he equipped you already and he gave you everything that you need. Well, how can you say that he's given us everything that we need? Because this is Luke 9:13. But if you take and you go back to Luke chapter 1 and Luke chapter 9, verse 1, verse 2. And then he says this. And then he called his 12 disciples. Disciples are students. Together and gave them power and authority over devils and to cure diseases. And he sent them to preach the kingdom of God and to heal the sick. He has already equipped them. So when he said, give them ye to eat, he told them to give them what I have already given you. So man of God, woman of God, children of God, you do not need to take something and put in your body and to be affiliated with other entities. Because a communion basically is the second definition. It's the sharing or exchanging of intimate thoughts and feelings, especially when the exchange is on a mental or spiritual level. That type of communion does not take for bread and wine and some type of concentrated thing sacrifice. That takes no sacrifice. The communion that they're trying to get, the Lord's Supper, that's not for you. That's not for you. We're not supposed to be eating and drinking nothing with a bunch of people that we have not a relationship with. Yes, you can say that that's my pastor, my bishop, but you don't have those intimate thoughts of them. You don't know what their true intentions and their true thoughts is. You don't know what their problems are. So when you take a communion with them, you are sharing and exchanging intimate thoughts and feelings, especially on a spiritual and mental level. So when you leave that building, that church building, and you start to feeling all of these weird things, it's because you have came into agreement with something that is not of yourself. Stay in yourself. Get out of the others. Focus more on yourself. And if they say, oh, if you search yourself to see if you are worthy to take something that someone else give you, tell them I came equipped already and I have everything I need. I don't need nothing that you're going to offer me to be affiliated with you. I can stand on my own, but I am here in support. Stay up, because we can't continue to fall.